Scarborough, she hurt nobody, was pushing forward for her daughter, 19-year-old Sade Robinson. Friday, Robinson's family sat in court and heard the grim details surrounding her death while staring at the man accused of taking her life, 33-year-old Maxwell Anderson.
The allegations in the complaint are abhorrent. It is the highest level of violence imaginable.
Prosecutors say Anderson and Robinson were going on a date Monday evening on April 1st. The state says they went back to Anderson's Southside apartment around 9 o'clock, where they say he killed her between then and early Tuesday morning. They say he then dismembered her body and scattered pieces around the county.
The defendant did a tremendous amount of work to try to cover up the crime, including lighting Miss Robinson's vehicle on fire.
Last week, police found and connected a severed human leg in Cudahy and a foot in Milwaukee to Robinson. After text messages and witness statements linked the two together, Anderson was arrested April 4th during a traffic stop. He's now charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson.
Sade was more than a person. She was an angel. Not having her right now is very painful.
Family says the entire timeline has them shaken.
Imagine trying to bury your niece with no body for the service. I need justice for Sade.
And they want the person responsible to pay. This sick son of a is gonna pay. Barely speaking.
Hey, y'all. So I wanted to talk about this Sade Robinson case really quickly. I feel so awful for her family. And obviously, I feel awful for her and everything that she had to go through. I really, it's hard to talk about these kinds of situations and not make it about social media. Um, for one, learning about the case through social media, TikTok, and there's plenty of information elsewhere, right? Plenty of information elsewhere about this too. So, this man named Maxwell Anderson was charged in her death and mutilation. So he dismembered her body and left her in various locations. And this all started out from a date, allegedly a date at a seafood restaurant. Like, I don't know. To me, I feel like who made these initial TikToks and decided to like emphasize seafood restaurant, because to me it just makes me think of the whole like pasta and lobster trend that was going on. um I can't help but think about the trends that young and older black women are creating on these social media platforms that are putting out the idea that seeking out relationships with white men in particular are like something to be sought after. I made this kind of content a lot in the past, and I'm not even proud of it because it was the wrong ideology, it was the wrong point of view, it was just a lot of things wrong with the execution and delivery of the things I was saying that I can't sit here and stand by and say, yeah, I was right, I was right. But I do feel like my overall, the heart of what I was trying to say was always spot on. And that is that you guys need to really stop creating the propaganda on social media about chasing after these individuals because you make yourselves vulnerable to predators. And this is not like victim blaming this girl. She didn't deserve this. Nobody deserves this. Nobody deserves this. But a predator preys always. And sometimes there are things that people do publicly that makes it easier for people to learn about their victim and what they can do to lure in their victim. I saw some people in the comments saying, forget it, I'll just be alone. Because it's true, dating does have risks, like just in general. Dating has risks because you're essentially meeting someone that you didn't know before and you're hoping for the best, but the worst can happen. I've been in many compromising situations while being on dates. And I can't say do it anyway, but I can say that, there are risks in life. Like I could go outside and just be running regular errands and, somebody could do something to compromise my health or victimize me. Um, People who are, deranged, psychopathic people are not the majority. They are a minority. Um, the whole point is to not make it easy for them to lure you in. And I do feel like people are just this detached from themselves to where they will chase a social media trend before they will seek out what will truly bring them happiness. And this has been years in the making. This has been years in the making. Like I feel like this was almost a decade ago when I started making content about how the dangers of this type of content on social media for black women. And like I said, I can't reference it because the videos I made were poor quality. Like, but my point is, this has been going on for quite some time, where black women were signaling to very specific people their eagerness, their willingness, their desire, and their desperation to be with this specific group of people. And this is not how you call in. This is not how you manifest what you're really looking for. I would assume what you're looking for is love and care and protection. And obviously, stories like this indicate that while in pursuit of that, you've called in the worst of situations. And again, I'm not victim blaming. It just reeks to me of pasta and lobster. And this was literally a trend on social media, just like hard wig and soft life. They're just like so many other movements and campaigns and propaganda that black women have taken upon themselves to perpetuate in the media for all to see and thrown it into this cesspool that is the internet, where all kinds of people are looking for ways to prey upon others. All this particular man who is 33 years old dating a 19-year-old, um, I don't know. I feel like this this young woman probably didn't inform her parents about where she was going, what she was doing, or who she was going to be with. Because if she did, then I would be really curious about whether or not anybody gave her counsel on going out with a 33-year-old man that you don't know, that you've probably met on the internet. I would have to imagine that they just didn't know what she was doing, which is just so scary, right? Like, as parents, we can only know so much, and our children enter adulthood and they venture out and they want to assert their independence, but they still are so green and they don't know anything. Because if she was my daughter and she told me I'm going out with this 33-year-old guy, oh, I met him on a dating app, or where, even if she met him, I don't care if she met him at like church, I would still be like, I don't know about that. That doesn't sound like a good idea, but give me all of the information about him before you go out. Now, would that have made a difference? No, she still would have been dismembered. She still would have been killed and dismembered. Why would a 19-year-old even believe that a 33-year-old man would be someone you should entertain? I think it also has to do with the hypergamy content. It has to do with the soft life, the trad life concepts. I think there's this other thing called almond life. I'm not sure. I just I think I heard that from like my niece about just women trying to basically be like high class soccer moms. I don't know. It's like it's weird to me. These girls are all like chasing these so-called aesthetics. I noticed that like a lot of these younger women don't really have any, don't seem to have these core values, and that this is not like a judgment. I'm just noticing that they're always chasing this aesthetic, and what they do is like imitate other people's cultures, other people's like look, rather than having their own style, because it just seems like they just don't have it inside. Like, so if it's a trend that we're gonna go get white boys and eat pasta and lobster and chase the soft life, the trad life, the sprinkle sprinkle, the sugar baby, the hypergamy, the level up, that just seems to be what people are doing. Like they just want to chase these trends and these gimmicks so that they can flex or they can just come up. I think a lot of women like to do that on TikTok in particular. They want to have the appearance that they've gotten with a man of means, and then they sit on social media and they show off everything that he does for her. Oh, I woke up this morning around 10 a.m. and I didn't really have anything to do, so I went ahead and took a dip in the pool for about an hour, and then I sat and I sunbathed, and then I decided to go to Target and I'm so sorry to laugh right now. This is not funny. It's just like these girls, this is the kind of stuff that they're chasing, and it's leading them to dangerous situations. This to me is what enticed this young lady into entertaining this older man. When I was 19, I had no interest in a 33-year-old man. When I was 19, I think I was dating like an 18-year-old guy. I'm trying to think of when I was 19 because it was a long time ago. When I was 19, yeah, I think the guy I was dating was 18. Like I was a sophomore in college and he was a freshman. The idea of a 33-year-old. In fact, I remember when I was 18 and I did give this 30, I think he was 36. I gave this 36-year-old man my phone number. I talked to him a couple times, and then I didn't block him. I don't think blocking was a thing back then. Maybe it was, but I stopped talking to him. Like I started ignoring his calls. But I was just joking around with some of my friends, and I told them that I was still talking to this guy. And my friends were like, "You're a fool." These days, a girl's friends would be high fiving her, like, "Yeah, get your money, get that bag, level up." It was like a cringe to date somebody so much older. But this is what a lot of black women on social media have created this content. Like, there's black women today that are running channels based on hypergamy, based on femininity, based on like dating tactics or strategies, based on interracial courtship. These are grown women. These are women in their later 30s, their 40s, their 50s, and upwards. Hold on, creating this content, and they're not even thinking responsibly about who is the audience, who they're influencing, and who they're affecting. And these are the outcomes. I'm not saying everyone's going to be, harmed in this way, but some of the content you're putting out here is so irresponsible. It is really so irresponsible. These people are young and impressionable. Some of these people have been listening to you for a decade. If this girl's 19, she might have started listening when she was 9 or 10 years old. And she's been waiting for her moment until she was finally old enough or out of the house or had her own car or had enough, money so that she could branch out on her own and start enacting these so-called tips and strategies to chase this privileged, soft life, and landed herself in the arms of a predator. And the reason that these people are easy prey is because of this media propaganda. All they have to do is study it, watch it, read the comments, and see all of these young black women and all of their desperate comments. And they know that these women are fair game. All I have to do is use this particular type of rhetoric, say these type of catchphrases, and I will be able to lure them in easily. Hold on. And all you need is just a moment of vulnerability to harm somebody. Do not act like this is just a coincidence, because I don't know. It's weird to me. When these women are flashing and flexing their lifestyles, oh, they strategized well and they got the bag. But when these things go horribly, horribly, horribly wrong and these women get hurt, then everybody is suddenly obtuse and acts as if it is all one huge coincidence and it has nothing to do with this media propaganda that you have created. Am I wrong? If you are really an influencer, if you're really a thought leader, then you have to take the successes as well as the failures in a responsible manner. Because I thought the entire point was about giving these ladies options for protection and a better life. But everybody turns into crickets and disappears and makes excuses when things like this happen.